day, boys.
You and Marcus having coffee later?
No, I love that sort of stuff. I always love a little battle like that, and he'll be a star when he doesn't have to tag. So Ross, gotta let him off the chain.
In the red, black and white corner, the monster from Moorabbin, the sharpest tongue, if looks could kill.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Bailey was running rampant with no one on him, and then Windy put him to sleep. The horse trying hardest in the race is self-interest, right? So, I mean, Bailey often talks without thinking, doesn't he? At least he's not sending emojis out on text this time.
In the blue and white corner, undisputed, undefeated, the cat with the crowns.
He's got nothing if not a sharp tongue, Ross. That's why I find him so entertaining. I think he's on with me Monday night on Fox 360, so tune in. We might have it out there.
Sit down. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Sit down.
There's a lot of people who think that's their best work of the year.
The monster from Moorabbin. At times it's true, right? So, well, my daughter terrorised me on the couch last night because actually I didn't listen to it in entirety. And then she goes, "He was jesting, Dad." And I wish I had let it slid, to be honest, because my biggest regret is I fueled the media furnace. And, I was just like, but it's like, so a bit of...
Because you two don't get on, that's clearly obvious. You two.
No, I know.
We can fake it for a little while if you want.
Cool. We're genuine here.
But he breaks the mould, Bailey, doesn't he? Like, to be honest, he wouldn't even care. So, but when I saw it its entirety, like in hindsight, right, like the private schools, Hailbury, Xavier, good mates, and it was. And my daughter did clip me, so...
Is that the Rosanna High coming out on you? A Heidelberg High against a private school?
Well, like Lenny and I spoke about, we do feel like he's punched down the right term, so you win, you lose, and you just get a bit pushed back. So, but yeah, you don't always get it right. In all honesty, I don't think I got it exactly right. So, I think Caro might have been happy, but other than that,
You did defend Caro. That's fair enough. When I first heard about it, because I'd actually only seen Ross right now. But when it was first relayed to me that Bailey had said something, I thought, surely he wasn't critical of an opposition coach. Then when I heard it, I was like, no, he's actually quite kind of complimentary. And even the part where he speaks before he thinks, that's what makes him so entertaining. He's good fun. Yeah.
And the bit,
and he's certainly not offended.
I remember halfway through the second quarter, I turned to Robert Harvey, I said, mate, he's going to have 60. How about we put someone on him? And I was like, So then we tightened up and we got back in the game a bit, but he still had and three-quarter time was like, we're not looking like winning with the tag. So, look, he is a pretty special player and he breaks the mould, and it's the new environment that just sometimes stimulates a response, but I didn't get it quite right. But I'll always sort of bite, like Brendan Goddard, they nickname him Tuna, right? So... I try not to be tuna.
Don't change. Don't change. You went a bit... Are we going to do the media stuff here or not?
Go on.
Did you go a bit quiet? I've been off the scene for a while. Yeah. Have you just backed off from your good mates in the media earlier in the year? Did you just go straight up and down, play between the arcs?
I was disappointed with the assessment of the post-Adelaide game.
What was that? Take me back to that.
Oh, do we have to go back?
Well, I can't...
I sort of said, I was like, there was two people in the room. Where did you go wrong? And I was like, because they dominated centre square bounce and territory. And I banged on for about 5 minutes. And the only other person in the room said, now, where did you go wrong? And I was like... But in everyone that critiqued me after that didn't show that second question. And I went, CSB. And I was like, well... So then from there I was like, you can't win. I was a bit...
So what did you do? Just play between the arms?
Well, I just neutered myself.
Straight up and down? Footy's worse for you than you not being yourself.
Oh, I don't know.
He did have a bit of a go post-game on the weekend, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, we can get that.
Well, yeah, that's debatable. I love a debate, right?
And did you quote your mate over here too, didn't you?
He's very considered. Like, he's a bit more nuanced and subtle than me, but I think he achieves the same result.
Were you worried that during that debate post-game that you were they were going to put the black hat on you? That you were the bad guy?
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
You come out of it all right, didn't you?
Well, I think so.
Didn't he, Scotty?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I think, again, I was talking to someone who I really trust in this space, and he was talking about how these days so many of, even the press conferences, but even these shows are clipped up. So the context is often lost. And he said he went back and made the effort to watch the whole press conference. And he thought it made perfect sense. But sometimes when you see this little clip, it's easy to jump to conclusions. And maybe that's the point. Maybe that's what they're after.
I watched it all, and I'm a bit the same. But you two are as experienced as anyone in this caper now. I've watched and seen you handle it, and I always watch your stuff. I mean, can we do it any better in terms of your relationship with media or not?
Yeah, I'll have a go quickly. Yeah. I think the press conferences post-game could be better. And I don't have the answer because I'm far from a media expert, but I suspect what's happening is journos don't want to sit with 10 other guys, ask their best questions and share all that material. So you're much better to speak about it, especially you, Jared. But my sense is that I think this is my 16th year, the post-game press conference has just degraded over the years to the point where often there'll be one or two people there and it's really about a grab for the cameras that often loses its context. Like I remember in the early days, and maybe it was because I was inexperienced, but often there'd be someone from the AFL there, certainly a club representative as well, and they would say, OK, Gary Lyon's in there, Jared Waitley's in there, Mike Sheen's at the front, Carolyn Wilson's at the back. Now it's kind of like, you know, you're almost begging people to turn up for what is a compulsory appearance. If it's not as important as it used to be, maybe there's a better forum. Now, I haven't thought about any of this before coming on the show, so it's a bit off the top of my head, but that would be my observation.
Yeah. Ultimately, what's the objective of that press conference? I'm not sure what it is anymore. And we did get to the end of last year, and I think Chris does it a little bit, with injuries a lot of the times at the first thing, and walking in, your media department go, now they're going to ask about Garcia's ankle, and they're going to ask about... And I'm like, well, I'm not there to do medical, really. So we did get to the point where our head media personnel, Lenny, started doing, well, here's the injury report. And I think we'll go back to that. And I'll just repeat quickly what happened. Like, you leave the box, like, talk to your coaches, they think that I'm in, then there's family and getting people in the rooms, and then you go and talk to your players, come out and they go, we're off to the media conference. And I said to Lenny, this is the exact... I said, Max King? And he said, he's got a tight hammy and he'll have a scan tomorrow. And I go, is that it? He goes, that's it. So I let it go. I didn't go, that's like gospel. And then I walk in. So it's like there's a disbelief that you haven't had a conversation. Bear in mind he wasn't in the building, which I didn't even know, because you've got other priorities and you're not diving into that level of detail. And I didn't speak to the doctor, I didn't speak to the sports scientist, and I didn't speak to the physio, because it's not my job. And Chris and I, a long time ago, had a conversation about how do we handle these things. And it's like, let the cobblers do the cobbling. They make the decision and they say yes or no. That's exactly... Marshall, he was in there smiling, and then they come out, he's got a back spasm. And I was like, well, I just walked over to the conditioner and said, I hope you're having mollycoddled TDK in rehab, because the tide's going out. And he looked at me and went, why? And then I didn't go near Rowan, and then the physio came out on the ground, and you'll see it, he went, and I went, you know, and that was it. People don't believe that, though.
But they would... The questioning about when you say what's the purpose of the post-game, it's to hold... Not to hold you to account, but it's to ask specifics about how'd that happen, why'd you do that?
Yeah,
and then
the game?
The game.
Or injury?
No, the game.
Yeah.
But the Max King thing, which the line of questioning you would suspect and expect, is to say, did you play him too early? Did you rush him back?
And I gave the evidence on that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that is to be expected. I mean, there's no problem
that's
there.
clear. And just to add one more thing, like the demands of the game. And so we have all the metrics. So his max velocity in training, all our players hit 95% on the weekend. Max hit 79% of his max velocity. In all that load, in that month leading up, in all his game replicators, he hit 92 to 94% of his maximum velocity. And he was going at 105 metres per minute. To give you context, walking briskly 1 kilometre, you could do a 10-minute. Is that a slow jog or a brisk walk? So that was his 1 kilometre pace. And he hit a maximum speed of 79% and had done 3.8k in the first half, coming off 20-minute break in first 6 minutes. So in the context, he was nowhere near his match replicator load. So the game hadn't... Because I was concerned about it too. Then I looked at it, I thought, he's at 25.5k top speed. So it wasn't the demands of the game. He'd been through a lot more in rehab.
So he's going to do it anyway then? You suspect?
Well, I don't know. There's a lot with the brain and the mind and emotions and AFL
Yeah, I know.
that I can't answer.
I couldn't answer either. One question I wanted, was it at a stage where you said to yourselves as a club, let's find out about Max before, we've got 4 weeks to go, we've got to find him?
No.
Not
He
at
had
all?
a 4-week hamstring, really, that you could argue was 6 weeks. Let's call it 6.
Mm-hmm.
He did 12-week rehab. He was back to his 23 metrics.
Right.
I couldn't be any clearer that I went through. I won't bore you with it
Yeah.
or what he did. And he wanted to play seniors and he was safe and it was like... And what was it? It was going to be 12 minutes a quarter with breaks in between. And all those metrics, 79% of his max velocity is nowhere near the game loads. Every other player on the ground hit 92% or above.
So did you ask anyone today, how did he do his hamstring?
Yeah, I spoke to my condition and they go, that's a really good question, Ross, we'll come back to you.
Have you spoken to Max himself?
Yeah, I have.
How is he?
I have. We spoke today. He's really devastated. And this is a lot of the players we deal with, and this won't surprise you, hopefully. But his concern was he'd let the club and his team down. And shame's too strong a word, but probably embarrassed and, have you guys had enough of me? And I said, hang on here. We're in. So we're on our knees, but we're not bowed. And he'll do a full pre-season. He's in, we're in, his family's in. And he'll come because history's littered. And life, the context in life, this is at the low end of catastrophe.
But in the context of footy,
AFL
is at
footy,
the high
yeah,
end
yeah.
because he's had years now ruined and he's got back twice this year and hasn't got through.
Yeah, but I've run a narrative why, and you've probably heard it, but you probably couldn't regurgitate what I think the base reason is for his vulnerability, though, could you? Which was we took a conservative repair to a meniscus. When it could have been taken out, he couldn't play it. So then that's 4 months without walking, and then rebuild. Then when he rebuilds, it tears, which percentage said it was, and then so he's a deconditioned athlete. Anyone will tell you, you get in the main program, you get continuity, like maybe a Jack Martin at Geelong, and you get success in your program, and that's what happens.
Yeah. We spoke with John Longmire and Adam Simpson in the lead up to it. So to both of you, they said when they were doing it, these are the two scenarios, and they as coaches would choose. This is what I'm choosing. Are you at the point where all the evidence comes to you and you choose, or are you at the point of folding it back and going, I'll do what the athlete and the medical staff? Where's the balance there?
Oh, I'd like to know a little bit more information on their position.
So the Nat Nui, Adam Simpson spoke about Nat Nui and multiple times, Waffle or AFL.
Yeah.
Here are the two scenarios. This is the medical reason for this is this, and then Adam would make the choice. He wouldn't put it back to the athlete. He would make the choice. We're going this way, and sometimes he'd be wrong, and sometimes he would ultimately be right.
I break it up into there are football decisions, which are mine and our coaching team, and then there are medical decisions. And sometimes they overlap a little bit, but I can't remember a time where the high performance and medical staff have put a scenario to me or a recommendation to me, and I've said, I appreciate what you're saying, but we're going to go this way. I just can't imagine a situation where you would do that. I think where it becomes a little bit more nuanced is when the medical staff might, for example, give you a hypothetical where we think this player can play, and I've started using this language a little bit more. I think back in our day when we were playing, it used to be, can you play? Like, is it possible for you to play? And if it was possible, you're out there. Now it's like, well, but should they play? Is that the right thing for the team performance? Is it the right thing for them long term? Like even mentally. And this really crystallised for me, I think it was season 23. Jeremy Cameron had a concussion and a bad AC in one contact. So he missed a week with a concussion. I think he came back after that with the AC and just looked so limited. And it was like, what are we doing? The medical staff, no, we can keep jabbing him and he can get through. But it's like, is this the right thing to do with anyone, much less the Rolls Royce that we had? But the scenario that they might put to us is, yes, he could play, but it's likely he'd be a bit limited. And I think this would annoy you as well. But it's like, I think he can play a bit forward, but might not be able to play his normal. OK, well, now that's a bit more of a football decision. Like, no, we need him to be his normal self or he shouldn't play.
Yeah. And I tend to say yes. Don't give me he can do. It's either yes or no. And if it's yes, we expect him. So then that puts a finer point on their decision-making to more rule him out. Because they're not going to make, he can go and stand in the goal square. No, you need to be able to move and play your position. Like the Rowan Marshall could have hobbled out there and embarrassed himself, but Caminiti gets an opportunity, stands up, and so ultimately the medical team do make the decision. Like really, I would have had, if Max said they don't get to the last round of the year, I was like, fine. If he didn't play this year, because I haven't had him for a while, I just want him healthy and happy, to be honest.
Could I just be crystal clear on one point? I'm sure that Adam wasn't saying, no, the medical staff were equivocating on whether he is available to play and he'd make the decision.
No.
Not for a
These are the
second.
two paths. You can go and play in the waffle or you can play in the AFL, and these are the reasons, and this is a higher intensity than this.
Yeah.
And then they would take the decision, OK, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, so again, I think about that more. I think list management's a good example. Like, it doesn't really matter who has the final say because we get to a unanimous outcome by working through it. It's rarely, OK, we've come to an impasse. And I think if we did come to an impasse, I would lean more on the medical staff and say, no, you've got to make a call here.
Because the fifth player, we almost treated Max like the sub. Punt in, everyone's going to be OK.
Yeah.
You'll play 28, 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, so that's a bit more what you're talking about. Hey, there are a couple of ways to do this, and we could... So I don't know the Max situation, correct me where I get this wrong, but I imagine the two scenarios where we could get him back to play at VFL level a week or two earlier, or we could get more training, which often is more specific and at a higher level, more reps, that sort of stuff, than guessing what he's going to get in the VFL game. And by doing that training, we can bring him straight back into the AFL team. Are you comfortable with that? And that's where the coach is like, yeah, I'm comfortable.
He did 4 match replicators.
Yeah.
12 Ks. Like.
But there's also, you know, better than all of us, that game day is game day. And once you're out there, you can't control match.
No, that's right.
Match
Repeat
replication
effort.
can.
Yeah.
So my question would be, and this is a genuine question, we'll just play him in the VFL.
I assume they all, I guess.
They are. Just let him run in the VFL. And like if he doesn't...
Yeah, he could have, but there was...
Didn't you make the point that you did that last time?
Yeah, he did that last time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
To be truthful, and probably the one in hindsight, he went from in 6-day break into his second VFL game. You know, so every parameter I've been through it was really strong, and I mean he got the halftime healthy. So anyone that thinks it's fatigue, he had 20 minutes and another 6. That's 26 minutes. If anything, did he cool down? They're the questions I asked. Did we lay hands on him? Did he get up? Did we move him? It wasn't the demands of the game because there's 25.5K, like 79%, you know, and metres per minute. So there's nothing on the parameter and demand of the game that caused this.
I think Gaz does make a good point, though. When you talk about replicating games, it's hard to replicate the nervous energy the night before.
Yeah.
The sort of interrupted sleep, the anxiety that goes... Like, so why did it happen? It's very complicated, which is why in the immediate aftermath of the game, what happened? Oh, I don't know yet.
Yeah.
This is going to take us a couple of days to work through. The last thing we should do is make it up and mislead you.
And it's not like he's going to run like Darcy Wilson, who's one of the elite runners in the competition. There's been a question about where he's at. So how's he tracking?
Yeah, OK. He played very well. He was in the coaches' votes, played very well. Yeah, there's been a lot of noise about Darcy and Max Hall and Hugo Garcia.
Sought after players?
Yeah, well, sort of. Yeah, well, it's really like, well, to be truthful with Darcy Wilson, him and his management team come to terms over the weekend with our club, and I'm sure the club, it's imminently announcing that tonight.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so we're thrilled with that. That talks volumes to that he's happy, that he believes, and that we're improving. So that was a young midfield, yes, so Philippou, Garcia and Maz. But, you know, we played the Cats, and I spoke about, you know, big shark swimming, and we took those lessons into North, contested ball plus 39, really got after North a bit. So I said, it's like we didn't want what happened, but if you take that on as a third-year player, what Atkins was like and what Stewart was like they really, you can warn them, but till you go through it. And I said, if you take that learning, and I'm sitting on the couch the next 6 years and you're standing up in a prelim because you understand what it's about. Well, and we did take it into North, so there was, you know, it was pleasing, a little step forward.
Three nights out, what do we know about Patrick Dangerfield's possibilities?
Oh, I'm not up to date with it necessarily, and as I've tried to explain, I've tried to give the guys a bit of room, you know, especially in the acute phase. So we've got a shorter week, a 6-day break. We won't do enough meaningful work to get a sense for it until at least tomorrow afternoon. Look, he was really sore. I spoke to him at three-quarter time. It's rare that I actually do this. I said, Pat, you don't look that good to me. Normally I just say, look, can you do it or not? Like, and like his answer was kind of enough for me. It was like, oh, no, I reckon I can do it, which means he can't do it.
Yeah.
Like he's...
He looked like
but
he
then
had
he
a
still
couple-
ran back on the ground.
Yeah.
Like his... sorry.
It looked like he had a groin and a calf and a shin.
So he had a tight calf, but it was a cork that sometimes tightens up. That's not a concern, I don't think, as it's been relayed to me. The hip was, he fell and his knee on the ground and jarred his hip. So, again, I'm talking about stuff I shouldn't talk about. Sometimes it turns around quickly. It's unlikely that we take him through from now until our last game. So there's some logic in him not playing this week, but that's a very unsophisticated view at this stage.
We'll celebrate the game of Naz in a moment's time and ask why no Victoria in Origin next year. On the couch immediately follows us as they look into the events of round 20 and what to draw from us.
Dream Team Moment, brought to you by HBF Health Insurance.
The round was bookended by two of the greats of the modern game with very similar goals bursting through centre-half forward to set their teams on their way. The characteristic shared was the capacity for each of them to take the moments for their teams and ensure games that were in jeopardy turned in their favour. Now, boy, do we have some stories to tell.
We do.
So on Naz first, and it felt like the second Naz game, the first one being 12 months ago. Alistair Clarkson spoke around the idea if he gets the ball in the wrong spot. So that didn't feel like yesterday. You would have heard that previously.
Yeah, and I heard it. I think it has some merit at times. So we say get the ball in his hands, and you see with Nick Dacos, sometimes it doesn't work out. And I think a few times in the first half it didn't. But on balance, it probably works okay. And when he's going... And the stand rule, if you think really Holmes, Smith, Dacos, they should see Steve Hocking... You know, a bottle of wine, really, because it's just to open the game up and allows those talented, skillful players to get through and get the ball, which they could never have done in the past, to be fair.
He got any instruction at all? Like, at one stage he's full forward, next minute he's taking the kick in within the space of a minute, I reckon.
Well, there was a line review going on, and he likes to say midfield. I walked past the mids. I said, no, Corey and I decided you're going to half back. He said, keep walking, coach. So that probably tells you what's going on down there.
Yeah, so he's pretty much running.
No, he gets a bit of a licence, but within some parameters. So, but he needs more to come with him. We want more, and it's starting to happen.
Kobe McDonald played for County Mayo in the All-Ireland final.
75-year drought broken.
And that's O'Sheen Mullen's team. Your man is Kobe McDonald.
Yes.
This is him kicking right here. So, St fans, this is what you've got to look forward to. He's coming over. He's going to finish... Well, he's finished now as an All-Ireland champion. 75 years in the making. I listened to a commentator today, Jared. This was massive, but I didn't realise how massive until we spoke to Chris in the ad break. And Scotty, come on, spit that story out about the phone call you took.
Well, it was actually in person with O'Sheen Mullen, who'd taken a phone call from the Mayo coach, just planting the seed that possibly after our game against Melbourne on Friday night that he might be able to pop over to Ireland to play in the final and then come back. So this is, bearing in mind, right in the period where we had 3 weeks where O'Sheen was going to play on Naz. Then the next week he had Cozzy Pickett. And next week, I don't think I'm telling anyone, including Collingwood, anything they don't know, Nick Dacos after that. It's like, plus an All-Ireland final.
Squeeze in an All-Ireland final, if you wouldn't mind.
We were kind of open to the conversation.
And the coach said, can the Cats fly you over?
Yeah. So did O'Sheen, did he say that with any degree of hope in his eye?
Well, I mean, if it were me, if you could chop me out of Naz, Dacos and Cozzy, yeah, I'd take it.
Yeah, that's a great story. And you must be excited because from all reports, this young fella's a star.
Very talented athlete. And a few have gone before him, so... His parents are coming over, shifting in, and all credit. Awesome. And the good clubs have done it, haven't they? Yep. Geelong, Sydney. Like, there's some simple models out there to follow, and we're trying to sort of pick up our game.
Unbelievable strike rate.
All right, just finish us off with a disappointed Victoria on the shelf for a year in Origin.
Look, I am, but I understand that there is some value in scarcity around this thing, and if there is an appetite to build it up to, close to its potential, then maybe you don't want to saturate the market. But I think We'd be disappointed if we were one and done, wouldn't we?
Yeah, well, I look upon it as that they're playing off to take on the champs. That's what it is. So they'll play for the right to take on the champs in South Australia. And we are going to play South Australia, but I had a bit of a look, Scotty, at a potential 2028 Victorian team, and by hell, there's guys like Watson and Murphy Reid and Harley Reid, and they're going to be pretty right.
Well, it's almost a bit embarrassing, Gaz, because it's clear we missed a few at selection. We probably didn't have enough foresight.
There is a couple. And so that'll be good. South Australia, West Australia will be great. South Australian team's stacked. You got Naz will be involved with that.
Oh, will he be playing? Will he?
You'll be supportive
we're very
of it.
supportive.
Of course
I
you
think
are.
get the timing right.
Yeah.
Get the timing
bit
right.
shorter.
But we want the players to experience as high levels as they can.
Yeah.
Great to have you both with us.
Really,
Thank you.
really good to see you both. I'm glad you're back playing some shots. Don't just dead bat everything.
I'm neutered.
Ross Lyon and Chris Scott with us on Coaches' Nights. That is one to remember, I feel. Our players tomorrow night. Tuke Miller is going to join us from the Suns, so all manner of questions intensified by the week there, and Andrew Brayshaw, who are living the complete opposite experience right atop the table.